Have you been to a lot of UFC events live?
I've gone to a bunch. Yeah, the first one.
Different animal, right?
It's amazing. The energy in it is amazing. It's like I can't watch boxing anymore because UFC there's constantly fights I give a shit about. I don't know how in every weight class they're putting out fights and I'm like, fuck, that's going to be good. Oh, I can't wait for that one. Yeah. With boxing, it was like, oh, yeah, I wanted to see the heavyweights. Oh, yeah, all right, Mayweather, Pacquiao, maybe. But UFC, I constantly care about the fights. I don't know how there's so many fighters I enjoy watching. Yeah. But I find that like when I go, I don't get as much, I remember more when I actually watch it on TV because I'm sitting there.
100%.
But in person, I saw Anderson's leg break. I was right there. I've seen a lot of great fights. And it's just, you have to actually go back and watch them.
Yeah, I retain, to your point, I retain more when I watch it. I'd much prefer to watch it with my friends or alone instead of live. It's tough, man. Especially where you're sitting, but you can't really see the details. And I also think if you're not around the sport and you see it for the first time, I remember my dad saw it for the first time in the UFC and he was like, oh my God, this is violent. It's brutal, it's just a different animal. When you see it in person, there's a cage and you can hear the thump and the mat and just the sweat, the pure rawness of it. You're like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, man. Yeah.
The first time I saw Edson Barboza fight, I think it was in Jersey. This is Reed Harris. I remember I didn't know who he was, and Reed was telling me this guy's a great striker. And you could hear those leg kicks, because I think it was early in the fight, so it wasn't full yet. Yeah. And it had that weird arena echo when a good leg kick comes through. Well, you don't realize how hard they hit,
especially Edson Barboza with that switch kick.
You also don't realize, and I wish somehow they could portray this or show us on Dana's show or one of these embedded shows. But as a heavyweight, I remember I was fighting Crow Cop or Gonzaga or someone like that. But our rooms are close. So there's the red corner and the blue corner, right? And everyone warms up on pads. Well, you can hear the guy in the room next to you hitting the pads.
And
when it's a heavyweight, it's going whoop, 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 whoop. And you're like, the fuck is
that's meant for me?
Does he have a giant air gun in there? What are we doing? And then I would always hear certain people hit mitts. It's literally it would haunt you in your dreams.
Jesus Christ!
And then then you hear Bert going, "You're up, baby! Time to roll!" And you're like, "Oh my God!"
I never thought of that. You never told me that story.
Then I'd be like, "What are we doing? The fuck am I doing?"
You never told me that shit. I can't. You're listening to fucking Crow Cop just kick.
You hear that left flying into a bag,
going, "You douche!" And then I tell my coach, "Put the mitt up. Let me see if I." And he'd be like, "Take him down. Take him down.
I won't be kicking.
Take him down.
I won't be kicking in this fight, ladies and gentlemen."
I'd be like, "I think it's your mitts. That doesn't sound like that."
What is it as an athlete? I don't even think we even ever talked about that. Do you remember because I want to ask you about stand up because in the same question, but do you remember the moment you decided you wanted to fight? I mean, you saw blood sport or some shit, but to go from football to fighting isn't that big a jump, but for you,
we talked about it a little bit.
Your personality, though,
I just felt I was a better athlete than a lot of them.
Okay,
I just believed in myself. Thought I was a better athlete. Thought I could get really far in a short amount of time. And
which
football
you did.
Didn't work out. I had no other options. Yeah.
I have a question about getting hit. I want to ask you because I got the one thing that and we actually watched this on Joe's show yesterday. It's been a few years. The worst move anybody showed me was when, and I had Kane put me in a guillotine choke. I had a bunch of stuff. All of it's awful. But when Jon Jones, he gave me a shin to the thigh, and it literally, and I said this, I thought I was going to shit my pants. My whole system went It was shock from it went up and down at the same time, and my entire body felt it. Yeah. I had to go splash water on myself. I never could have thrown a punch after that. I was helpless. Did you ever get hit like that? Like the fact that he was not doing that he was just doing that, to show me. But if he was doing that to genuinely hurt me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he would have probably broken my leg or I would have blacked out.
He would have killed you. Yeah.
Have you ever been hit like that where where your entire body, where you feel like I'm going to vomit or something bad is going to happen to me?
Yeah, in a fight, I remember I forget who it was. Someone hit me in the stomach, and I had to pretend like I was okay. Terrible actor. But I remember in Denver, there's this new heavyweight, this big kid, and he was wild, but he was like a freaking power lifter, and he had on these huge gloves, and he looked like Butterbean. I was like, I'm going to destroy this kid. And they're like, hey, first round with, I forget his name. He comes in, I'm like, I'm just going to stick and move. And he just closes his eyes and throws a Hail Mary from fucking Redneck Downtown. Just this looping, and it doesn't, but it wasn't, I thought it was aimed at my face, so I'm like, good luck with that. And he hits me square in the sternum, like right there.
Fuck.
Oh, I went, and everyone, at the time, I'm like number 10 in the world. This is some schmuck off the road, and everyone's like, well, let's watch Brendan murk this fat dude. But he just caught me, and I just started wheezing, going, and I didn't know what to do, so I just used footwork, and then I went to work on, but that was the first time I felt like shitting my pants, and like, if no one else was in the room, I swear to God, I went, well, oh my God, hold on, bro, stop, please stop. That's how bad it hurt.
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you this, I'd rather get punched in the sternum like that than bomb on stage.
Oh no! I've felt the kick and I've bombed a lot. I'd rather bomb on stage because bombing on stage, you still have the late show. I've never almost shit my pants on stage. Because there's a weird,
but there's no escape. I don't mean to cut you up, but you know what I'm saying? Like when you're bombing on stage, it's like I'm just gonna power through this, and I got. 12 minutes left. All right, let's do the dad bit now. Like I was at the Laugh Factory. It was Armenian night, and there's 7 people there. Monday night, 7:00 show. No one wants to be there. I think they force these people in. Yeah. And I'm doing my thing, and
not gonna go.
Oh, you doing stand up? I didn't. Oh, that's great, man. I didn't know you were doing stand up.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I literally started, and I was like, well, I could already tell. I'm like, this isn't gonna go good. I just gotta power through it. And I literally, if someone would have I wished it was like the Apollo in New York. Someone just went bah, 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 and just got me out. I'd rather deal with that. But I was like, you guys got to sit through this for at least 12 more minutes while I get this shit out.
Yeah.
I wish someone would be like, hey, can I punch you in the sternum? Like, I'll do anything to get out.
But how about getting kicked by Gabriel Gonzaga in the leg? I mean, I feel like those kinds of things. I guess you're just so geared up for it.
Yeah, that's like asking Jim, how do you deal with a heckler?
Yeah.
What? I started dealing with hecklers fucking 10 years ago. I'll destroy them.
Yeah.
Your body is adjusted to it.
Yeah, it's just part of the game. Like I was watching the last UFC, the Brazil Fortaleza, and someone's heel stomping the foot, and my girl goes, "Oh my God, how do they deal with that?" I'm like, I mean, people do it. It's literally like whatever. It's like in practice.
It's part of it.
You're used to hecklers, right? Like how do you deal with hecklers? There you go.